Place your thumb and index finger together and just rest them here onto the tops of the knees. Drop the shoulders down away from ears, draw the jawline back, lift up through the top of the head. And just check you've grounded through the feet, so spread the toes. And check the knees don't rock out, keep them nice and in line with the ankles here. And then closing your eyes, or finding a gaze just in the distance, maybe outside to the trees. And we take some nice inhales in through the nose and out through the nose. And first we think about the breath at the back of the throat. The tongue resting here at the roof of the mouth. And we're looking for a nice balance between the inhale and the exhale. So our inhale will bring us energy and our exhale will bring us calm. So finding that lovely flow. And then we'll start to notice the breath move into the chest. And do you feel this at the front? Or into the sides of the ribs underneath the arms. And then we want to reach into the back of the rib cage here. So just be aware of the breath opening up this space. Every exhale, shoulders dropping down either side. And then finally breathing into the tummy here. So feeling that lovely length through the front of the body. A little bit more lift of the rib cage. Exhale, the shoulders drop down. Can you get a slightly longer inhale and exhale here? And just feeling the benefits of this full body breath. So lovely, calm. And fresh oxygen into the body, helping to rejuvenate all those cells. And then gently open your eyes if you had them closed. And we'll take the arms around. So reaching through the fingertips, inhale, we lift. Exhale, we bring hands down towards heart center. Inhale, we send them up. And exhale, we open, palms down. And find your own flow with this. So an inhale is a reach around, getting into the sides of the ribs, the shoulders, the arms. And exhale, we come down, centering ourselves. And then lifting up, arcing the arms out and away, reaching through fingertips and making space in the shoulders. Let's go for another couple of these. And having to think about the direction that we're going. Back the way we came. Lifting. Drawing in. Lifting on the inhale. And opening here. And then we're going to take one arm behind the back. So my arm behind the back looks like this. And then posture lovely and tall. Just breathe into this upper section of the chest to open up this space. And then we'll take the head away from the shoulder that we're stretching to get a trapezius stretch. These areas can get super tight. And go back to that full body breath so you feel the movement through the front and at the back of the rib cage as well. And we can also take the chin a little bit more down towards the chest also. And then we come back up to center, just unraveling that shoulder. And before we do the other side, just taking some rolls one at a time here. That's it. Maybe some exhales out of the mouth feel appropriate as well. Just getting rid of any shoulder tension. Let's wrap that arm behind the back so it sits like that, just on the back. Let's open the breath into this chest area here. And as we hold postures, we might go back to the gaze we had at the beginning or out the window. And then take the head away from the shoulder that we're stretching. So 3 inhales, 3 exhales on each part. Letting the chin move down towards the center of the chest a little to feel the transfer of the stretch around the back of the shoulders some more. And then just coming up to a neutral position. And again, just giving yourselves a little bit of a shoulder roll. Okay, taking ourselves into a twist. So you may have legs tight together, which will help with pelvic floor and drawing core in a little bit more as well. So you might choose to do that, or even pop a block or a cushion or something between your legs. You can go wide also. One hand to the side of the leg, the other hand to a part of the chair, and then allow this shoulder to roll outwards and open, letting the shoulder blade move down the back. Find that lovely length of the spine, lift up through the top of the head, jawline back, and then breathe fully into the whole of the torso. And as you exhale, you're going to zip upwards and inwards with your core. So you tighten at the waist, you get all those core muscles, the transverse, all of those muscles deep inside working as we hold this twist. Let's breathe here for another 3 inhale, 3 exhale. We'll come back to center and change to the other side. So hand to knee, other hand to a part of the chair, so you can get a good grip and you can use the chair to help you open up that shoulder some more. Find your gaze point in this direction. Remember to breathe fully into the body, and then on that exhale, you're going to draw the legs together and pull up. Draw inwards with your, pull up with your pelvic floor and draw in tummy button to spine. And we'll stay here for another 3 inhale, 3 exhale. And coming back to center, you can move your block or cushion out the way, hands to the tops of the knees as we do these pelvic tilts. So rock back on the pelvis, so tailbone under, and then come the other way. So hands can move just up the thighs. Let these shoulders move back so you get an openness through the chest and throat as well. And then rock back and forward. So you feel the pelvis mobility as you're seated. That's it. Inhale as you open the chest. Exhale here as you rock back, tummy button in. Forward we go, and back. Now we can work a little bit further with this. So as we tilt back, interlace the fingers in front of you and just get a shoulder stretch happening, chin in towards your chest. And then as we work back the other way, we're going to stretch through fingertips either side of the chair and then draw back the shoulders for an extra back stretch, an extra chest opener here, and then work between the two moves. So breathe into the body and then exhale, work away. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, pull away. Nice strength in the back. Maybe some exhales out of the mouth if you feel you need them. One more here. Good. And then coming up to seated. We'll take opposite hand to collarbone, so the index finger runs underneath the collarbone towards the shoulder. The other hand on top, drop shoulders down and away here, posture lovely and tall. And then take this jawline away from the collarbone. So you should feel the stretch from collarbone to jawline. And it could be any section of this area that you feel it here. Okay, I'm just going to stay for 5 inhales, 5 exhales. And this can feel like quite an intense stretch. And then coming to center. Before we do the other side, just a little bit of movement here, free movement. That's it, maybe changing direction as well. And then here we go, index finger along that collarbone underneath. Other hand on top, shoulders drop down and away, posture lovely and tall. And then the jawline moves away from the collarbone and we just see where we feel the stretch in this section. Can feel quite intense. The skin here is really quite thin, so can feel quite stretchy. And our heads are quite forward with our everyday lives, with computers and mobiles and things like that. So this is quite an important stretch to put into our yoga routines. And then just releasing out of there, that's it. And a little bit of movement. Okay, excellent. So from here, let's go into legs. So I've got a second, well, this is a stool, but it could be a chair. Anything that's the same height really as your chair. And we're going to have one leg up, okay, and the other leg can sit fairly wide. That's absolutely fine. Just give yourself a few little ankle rolls here. Posture lovely and tall. So this is great if you've been sat working at a desk all day and the muscles at the hamstrings and the glutes and the calves just get super, super tight. And we're just going to focus on the back of this leg, which using these seats is actually a really lovely way to stretch. And we're isolating one leg, so it makes it a bit easier when we do one leg, not two at the same time. Makes sure that our lower back and our upper back doesn't get stressed in the position. So really supportive way to stretch the back of the leg. So from here, we're going to flex the foot, and the very action of just flexing the foot might really feel, you might really feel that stretch through the calf. Drop the shoulders down and away. We need the hinge to happen at the hips here, so that we start to feel the stretch in the back of the leg without affecting the lower back. Now, also check out that you've got a micro bend in the knee, which is quite hard to do, but you basically don't want a locked out knee, okay? So flex that foot and then just hinge at the hips forward with this. And sometimes we kind of fold all the way over and include the back like so. But in this instance, I actually think sitting up nice and tall, taking the back out of it, just having that strength and length through the spine, and then just isolating here through the back of the leg can feel really good. And we're just going to wait. Just going to wait for a little bit of a release here in the leg. And it could feel like tingling, almost as if you're about to get pins and needles, but it won't be pins and needles. Just wait for this fascial release. Breathe into the body. Just look beyond your big toe. Jawline soft as you breathe. Feel the fuzziness in the legs. Feel that hinge at the pelvis, spine lovely and tall. And we've probably done about a minute here, so we're just going to do one more minute. See if you've got any sensation happening in the legs. Still keep the shoulders down, long spine, pelvic tilt, and foot back towards you, so you've got this calf getting a really good stretch. And hopefully your leg will feel lovely and light after this. And just check you're not feeling that through the mid back. If you are, take yourself upright a little bit more. Good. And then we'll switch the legs over. So just pop that leg down, and then we'll pop the other one on top and make some circles here with the ankle to begin with. And this stool I've got is cushioned, so it's a bit more comfortable than a hard chair, if you like, but it can be a table and then you put a cushion underneath for a bit of comfort here. So some lovely circles of the ankle. Make sure the heel's on as well. That's it. And then widen through the other leg. You can't really see that on screen, but widen through the other leg, so we're really isolating just on the one side. So getting some blood flow down into the ankles as well. And then when you're ready, flexing the foot here, and that you may just feel it into the calf already. So we're considering the edge of the foot here. And then just check that you're on those sit bones, okay? And then you want the pelvic tilt to happen. So you can take fingertips here to the front of the pelvis to actually feel it move forward. And that might be enough. We don't have to be all the way over because we don't want to take it through the middle back. So lengthen here the spine, shoulders drop down. I've just put fingertips there to start with to make sure I feel the hinge happen. Micro bend in the knee, that's it. And then just rest arms here on top. So we're softening through shoulders. We've got that focus point just beyond our toe. And we just feel into this here. So we need a good couple of minutes. We've almost done 1 minute. Let's breathe and just look beyond our big toe. And you might be a little bit more reactive in one leg than the other. Tends to be on the tighter side. You might feel more of a reaction, like almost like a shake, or this sort of zingy sensation. And if you do feel uncomfortable with your back, remember you can always sort of take a little bit of a breather, come up, and then go back in. We don't really want discomfort through the back at all. And we're just waiting for sensation. And don't worry if you don't get any sensation in the legs at all. I'm just getting a really good stretch. Longer holds, you tend to feel it more. And then we can come out of there and come back to center. So we'll just do a little bit of body work here before we go back to legs. So ground through the feet, and then we'll send the arms up towards the ceiling. So a lovely stretch through the back. Wiggle so your sit bones are right on the edge of the chair so that we're not slouched back. And then even though we're wide legged, that's absolutely fine. Let's take a little twist one way and then lift the arms all the way up. And then we should be able to transition to the twist the other way. And we're not sort of grabbing hold of the chair at this point. We're just giving the arms a little bit of work, a little bit of space into the chest and back. As we feel the sensation in the legs, do they feel light? That's it. Do we feel those lovely effects of that work into the legs, the release down the back of them? That's it. Inhale, lift. So great energizer, this one. And exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And if we've been stressed from, a build-up of work or things we've got going on generally, some exhales out of the mouth will feel really good. One more. And back to center, any kind of movement into the shoulders you like. So we're going to go into the quads with this one. So turn to the side on your chair. You need to hold on to the back of the chair for stability, but you'll have one hip securely on the chair, the other one slightly off so that you can take this leg back like so. You can't see my lower half of my leg, but it is like you're doing a lunge position, okay? So you're on your toes, tuck the tailbone underneath, okay? So you get that lovely quad stretch. I'm just gonna actually change my angle for a second. Oh, hold on, there we go. So just to check in with that lower leg first, and then I'll go back to the previous screen. So tuck underneath. You can't even see my foot yet. There we go. So tuck underneath, okay? And you're on the ball of the foot. So you've got big toe stretch happening here as well. Then tuck the tailbone underneath. You guys will be drawing the core in nice and tight as well. And we've got this stretch happening here. We're going to involve the arms in a minute. And each time we come out, we'll just do a little release and then back in. So, and you can see on my other foot that I've got the toe and the heel, the toe down, the heel off. That's okay. And use the chair to keep the hips level and nice and stable. Okay. So back to the previous frame we had. We've got that leg formation happening. Okay. Then once so make sure the hips aren't falling off the chair or anything, nice and stable. And then we'll involve the arms. So we've tucked underneath. We're going to lift this arm up nice and tall here. And then keeping the hips nice and stable, just moving the upper body, arc over towards the back of the chair, and you'll feel the stretch move around the side of the ribs and the side of the leg. And then we bring that back and release. Release the leg here. Let's go again. So tuck under, breathe into it. Exhale, over we go. And release. Good. Tuck under, and then over we go. And release. It's quite ballet, I'd say, with the arm. Tuck under here, lift. Make that curve over, that nice lateral stretch. That's it. And release. Well done. So again, you follow your own flow. So even though you're following my cues, you might be faster than me, you might be slower than me. You might be taking the arm out of it and just working into this quad area here. Or you might really feel the benefits of that lovely lateral stretch over the side of the body. And then coming out of there, we'll go into the other side. So just switching round on your chair and sending that other leg back. You don't need to see my legs because you know what's going on, but just check the hips are level. One hip is definitely on, and you're holding onto the chair to help you. Just try the action of tuck under. What does it feel like on this side? Is it stronger all the way down here? And it could be just the fact that you're doing that big toe stretch as well. Feels, you know, quite strong. And then once we've got that action, remember we will go in and out of it, okay? Core in as well, don't forget about that. And then let's work the arms. So we lift up and we arc over, keeping the hips level. And we release, good. Let the leg go as well. Inhale as we lift, exhale as we go over. Coming out of it. And we have our focus points to the side of the room. So we're getting that quad stretch. And then we're coming into the side of the leg as well, and into the sides of the ribs. Take time with it. So if you're at a point where you really feel the benefits, then of course stay there a bit longer. We'll do another couple this side. And then coming out of there. Okay, we'll take a wide leg position on our chair. And just fingertips here onto the inside of the thighs. This will be to get into the inner thigh, inner groin muscles, but then the relationship with the shoulder. So very often we do this standing, but it's quite nice to have the support of the chair. So fingertips here just onto the thighs. And then as one shoulder comes in, let this leg be sort of worked out. And then you'll feel a lovely stretch happening at the back of the shoulder to the spinal column. That sort of area where you love to have a massage. And this is effectively us sort of giving a massage to the back, or being able to reach that area which is kind of hard to get to. Okay, So just moving in and out, lovely breaths into the body. Breaths wherever, just keep it flowing. And keep that lovely stretch at the back of the shoulder blade. And then into the inner thigh here. And then coming up to our seated position. So one more on the legs here, and we're going to use our second chair or stool. So we're going to work on a hip opener this time. So what will happen is we'll open here the hip into this right angle position. So 90-90 we do a lot on the floor. This is just doing it seated. Okay, so flex the foot, that's really important for the knee. And then we've got this lovely support of our chair here on our ankle. And then again, it's a hinge at the pelvis. So this leg can just be wide, not too concerned about that. I like to take hold of the foot to give a little bit of a massage here into the arch of the foot as well, a little bit of stimulation there. So we're just going to hinge forward and start to feel this into the hip. If it doesn't feel great with the knee, for example, then you can come in a little bit closer, or it could be that you just prefer to skip this one or go for another long-legged stretch. So opening up into this hip space. Okay, again, just checking, you know, feel your way with it. Can you lean forward a little bit more? Can you direct the chest a little bit more towards the foot? What does it feel like as you direct the chest a little bit wider towards the shin? And you might want to close your eyes to just get into this area here. Flex foot to protect knee. I've got my hand on my knee, but I'm not putting pressure on it. It's just kind of there. And we're just opening up into this hip space, breathing into it here. Again, lovely tall spine, shoulders nice and relaxed. This one we're choosing a little bit of a longer hold as well. So we'll stay here for another 5 inhale, 5 exhale. Releasing those tight hips after sitting at the desk. Having the lovely support of the chair as a change. And then we'll release out of there and we'll go into the other side. So just a nice wide leg. And I've just moved on my chair slightly to get the right positions. So now I've moved on my chair, I need to bring this a little closer to get that right angle position. So, you know, don't be afraid to move things around to just get the position right. Flex the foot and then long spine, shoulders relaxed, hip hinge, and hand into arch of foot for a little bit of stimulation here as well. Not any pressure on the knee, but I've just gently rested it here. The knee will move forward according to my hips, okay? And just see how you feel. You might be tighter one side than the other. And then what does it feel like to direct the chest a bit more towards the foot? Feel that transfer in the hip. And what does it feel like to move the chest a little bit further out? Ankle giving you lovely support. And then keeping that chest towards that ankle. Toe back towards shin. Breathing into it here. Shoulders nice and relaxed as we just open up this hip space. You might get some sensation with this one as well, especially if we do a longer hold. Five more inhales, five more exhales. See if you can feel the whole of the torso with your breath. Lengthening it here as well. And then releasing out of there. Now we're going to do a forward fold to open up the back of the pelvis. So sit a little bit more on your chair and widen through your legs, and then fold at the pelvis, placing here the forearms on your chair or stool. And then let's bring the forehead here down towards the hands. And we're looking to open up the space at the lower back. Also, you'll get a little bit on hamstring as well, potentially. If you were doing this on the floor upside down, it would be a bit like a happy baby. Okay. And just forehead down. That'll be really good for internalization, clarity of mind. Just taking yourself into the posture, taking yourself into comfortable, warm space. And just zoning out for a good minute here. Don't worry about time. I'll tell you when to come out. And then gently coming out to our seated position, where we'll do some humming bee breath to get some lovely vibrations here into the upper half of the body. So sit bones nicely balanced, feet nicely balanced, feeling the lovely length of the spine. And we're going to use our thumbs to close off our ears and the rest of our hands here to close off our eyes, to take us into our, spaces within. And it is like a humming bee. So it's an inhale in through the nose, and then you just hum a really lovely long exhale out, which is really good for calming the nervous system down. Okay, so I'll just do 3 with you here. And yeah, you can find your own length of breath with this. So closing off ears, closing off eyes, inhaling in through the nose and then humming out.
And then bringing the hands down to the knees, connecting index finger and thumb, and then just sitting with those vibrations. So feeling the lovely lift of the spine all the way up through the top of the head. Feeling a lightness in the body. And possibly a gentle spiraling also. All muscles relaxed on frame, nice and balanced. Feeling shoulders stacked nicely over hips. Just feeling this energy created from the humming bee breath. Jaw nice and soft. I'm just going to sit in silence for the next 3 minutes, and then I'll bring you round. And then gently opening your eyes and releasing the fingers. Just bringing our hands here to heart center, relaxing shoulders and bowing our heads. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for chair yoga.